Former boy band star Nick Carter is confessing to Dr. Phil the horrifying and tragic story of his addiction to drugs. Nick Carter is #1 on our Showbiz Countdown of today's top 3 brand new confessions. He was brutally honest with Dr. Phil about his drug addiction and all the partying he did during and after his boy band days, and he tells stories that are just the kind that make your hair stand on end. You got to watch what he told Dr. Phil about his drug habit when he was a teenager and how it all exploded after he took up with a certain hard-partying socialite.
But it is definitely easy to fall into drugs, especially when you come from a family of drugs and alcohol. I was probably 15 or 16 when I started smoking weed. Then I moved to ecstasy. I tried Vicodins and oxycodones. I got addicted to those. And in 2004, I was really hard into drinking and drugs, and that's when I met Paris. Being around the socialite atmosphere was definitely a dangerous world.
Yeah, imagine that. Nick, of course, referring to Paris Hilton there. TV and radio host Michael Billy, who has fought his own battles with addiction, is right here with me in New York. It's good to see you, Michael. And, you know, we've always heard stories of children or kids who become stars and then are exposed to everything, and because of that get all involved with drugs and partying. But Nick is saying, and this is what's really different about him, he started doing drugs before the Backstreet Boys even existed. So I have to imagine with that kind of predisposition, it was sort of inevitable with everything that comes with the fame, all the money and everything, that it was going to go down this road.
It speaks to addiction, and generally with addiction, there's a lot of factors. I think people run into a problem when you oversimplify what addiction or alcoholism really is. There's so many factors that play, the relationships you have with your family, your friends, your growing up experience. I mean, I can remember, I've been in entertainment for a long time. I remember my first drink was maybe 13 years old, and I threw up on my living room floor. And I remember that early, and it was a problem from back then. Now, back in the day, I used to blame entertainment, but the problem existed for a very, very long time.
He did speak very openly with Dr. Phil about the death of his sister, Leslie. She died of a prescription drug overdose last year. Look at this.
Do you blame yourself in any way for your sister's death?
There's definitely a part of me that did blame myself. I think that's because of the responsibility that I sort of took on as the oldest member in my family. Probably should not have been taken on.
Yeah, and Nick says that his family still blames him in part for Leslie's death. He admits the relationship with them is not great, but that says to me the guy's still got a lot of pressure in his life, and perhaps we should be worried about him getting back into that stuff.
Bottom line, when you have an addiction problem, therapy and speaking about your issues is an ongoing thing because it's inherent that you don't know how to necessarily deal healthy with these issues.